Welcome to this SecurityITrust presentation. Today we're looking at Facebook Marketplace scams and how to avoid them. We all know Facebook Marketplace is a very popular place to buy and sell items. Unfortunately, this free service has become infested with fraudsters and scammers, and many people have become innocent victims. Why does this problem exist? Facebook Marketplace is popular. It has thousands of people using the service every day. Criminals always target anything that is popular because the chances of getting a victim is higher, so they'll always go to where there's loads of people. This is not just a Facebook Marketplace issue. This issue happens on many similar services. Some people think this is just an online issue. That's actually incorrect. What we're looking at here with Facebook Marketplace, if we take the real world equivalent, which is car boot sales, flea markets, etc., there is scammers, people selling stolen property. Scams are quite similar, so it also exists there, and it's just we're dealing with an online version when we talk of Facebook Marketplace and services like that. What scams should you be aware of? Hopefully by going through some of the popular scams, we can make you aware of them, and that way it'll help you to avoid them so you don't get caught out. The buyer is sending a courier with a payment. This has become one of the biggest growing scams out there, and it's basically a trick where they're trying to steal money from you, get you to pay fake insurance. So just quickly take you through this scam. Is you have an item for sale, and let's say it's a bicycle. The scammer contacts you, they're interested in the bicycle, and they offer they're going to pay you the price, and they're going to come that night to take a look at it. Next thing you have a message saying, oh, I have to work late so I can't get here tonight. So what I'm going to do instead is I'll send a courier to pick up the bicycle, and the courier will have an envelope of cash, and they will be able to pay you. So once you check the cash is correct in the envelope, you can hand over the bicycle to the courier. And I'll even throw in an extra €20 since it might take a few days. Just sounds great. Sometimes this extra €20, €10 that extra is not being offered, sometimes it is being offered. It's a way to try and draw you in by throwing this little extra incentive. Everything goes grand. They ask you for your email address, your postal address, so they know where the courier can pick it up. They ask you your phone number because the courier might want your phone number. Sounds okay so far. And next thing you get an email from the courier let you know that the pickup has been arranged, and it might be telling you a date, or it might be mentioning about insurance. And then they're coming back to you saying that the courier requires you as the owner to pay maybe a small fee. It could be 10, 20, €30, €50 for to insure the item. Why would you be paying for to insure the item? The minute that item is picked up by the courier, you've already got paid, so that item is no longer yours. So why would you need to insure it? It will be the person buying it should be insuring it, the person arranging the courier. So this is the first thing that should be hitting you, which unfortunately is not hitting a lot of people, and this is why they've fallen victims to the scams. But when they come back to you with this insurance fee, they let you know that you have to pay it, but don't worry, they're going to pay for the insurance. So maybe we'll say the insurance is an extra €20. So they're going to tell you, well, there'll be an extra €20 also dropped into this envelope, which is going to cover the insurance. So it all sounds good. You go online, you go to the courier website from the link they've given you, you pay your €20 insurance, you never hear from them again. There's no courier coming. Basically the scam was to get you to go online and pay this €20 or this insurance fee, which was a fake insurance fee. All the courier emails were fake. It was a fake courier website. Some of these scams, these courier emails, everything look quite genuine. The courier website looks genuine, but they're not, and some look quite poor. But these are just scams to trick you into paying this fake insurance fee when they have no intention. So if somebody is going to contact you and they want to send a courier with payment, etc., if you think they might be genuine, or if you're unsure and think I want to sell the item and I want to try and trust this person, use PayPal, use Revolut, use your bank account. Get them to transfer the money to a service that you know is correct and that you will receive payment. Leave the courier up to them to arrange, but unless you receive payment through something you can trust, don't go with a service like this. There is a small number of people who do send couriers, but cash coming in envelope by a courier, fake insurance fees, these are what you must watch out for. The next scam, and especially time of year when students are going to college, rental scams are very common. During the summer too, for vacations, they're common. What happens is the scammer will create an ad with fake images of a property. Sometimes the inside images are not even the images that match the outside of the property. They've basically gone onto some other property site, stolen pile of images, and that's what they're using. It also can sound good, maybe the rent is not too bad, the deposit doesn't look too steep. It's all to try and trap you in. And basically what they're looking is that they know, look, you mightn't want to travel. You might say, look, here's an apartment, we need to grab one up quickly for my kid who's going to college. If I don't get this one quickly, it could be gone. So I don't have the time maybe to drive an hour or two to where the college is going to be, or it could be further. I'll quickly book this, and you find you've booked an apartment, paid a deposit, signed up a lease for an apartment that didn't exist. Or maybe it did exist and it's rented out to somebody else. First thing is, if you're going to rent something and you can't get to it, go Google Maps. Does it exist? Check and see if you can find the apartment on any other site, because you might find someone else has it for rent, and it might be multiple places for rent. Does the same auctioneer have it? These are some of the giveaways, and if somebody has it for rent, maybe it's worth contacting and finding a bit of information about it before you sign up. And if they have a deposit different or amounts different somewhere else, these are all the red flags. So if you can't get to see it, try to find some other way you can verify it or find information. But the most important thing is, do not pay a deposit for rental accommodation unless you've seen it. If you're paying a deposit for rental accommodation that you haven't seen, you run the risk of these scams. And these scams are hitting quite high. Some of them are fake Airbnb scams. Most of them tend to hit accommodation for students because they know everybody's in a panic, accommodation is scarce. And watch out for them. Fake payment confirmation. So the buyer arranges that he's going to meet you somewhere, maybe a local shopping centre, and he's going to send payment with maybe PayPal, Revolut, bank transfer, etc. So it sounds right. This way you don't have to worry about fake money. You know you're going to get paid and he's sending it. Of course the payment hasn't come. You've arrived maybe at the shopping centre and he produced an email and said, look, here's the proof I've transferred the money. He has printed out this email. Or maybe you received an email to your phone letting you know that the payment has been made. Stop. Is the payment in your PayPal, Revolut, bank account, etc.? If the money is not there, then this email could be fake. Sometimes the buyer will try and trick you by producing fake emails. The email that you received to your phone from, we say, your bank, from Revolut, from PayPal, does it look like genuine email? If it does, why is the money not in your account? They will make emails that will look very close to fake. And you might have got an email that looks like, for example, it came from Revolut. But maybe if you look, you might find that O in Revolut, in the domain name, actually is an E. Or they've changed it to a C, something else that looked almost like Revolut.com, but it wasn't Revolut.com. So these are the things that they know you don't notice, and they can change to small things to make things look very genuine. And that's what you have to watch out for. Always, if someone is paying you for something, check if the money in your account. If the payment is not there, then don't hand over the item. Fake currency. Some buyers are using counterfeit money when paying for goods. Always check the money that you receive is legitimate. If you don't know the difference between fake and real money, there's many YouTube videos that will actually show what your currency might look like and how to check for fakes, what things to watch out for. If you go onto government websites for your country, they will actually show different ways of seeing what is fake, what is real. So educate yourself if you don't know. Sometimes the person selling the item might have a few notes on top which are genuine, and what's in the middle of the bundle or what's at the rest of the bundle could all be fake. These are things to watch out for. They can be quite common, and you don't want to get caught out because you will be at a loss. Stolen items. Just because you buy something in most countries in the world doesn't mean you can keep it, especially if it's stolen. So if you buy, let's say, a second-hand item, you've paid €1,000 for it, you might have paid a few hundred. If the police identify that you have it and it's known to be stolen, they will be taking it off you and you're at the loss. You're not going to get compensated by the police or the owner from the item. The owner gets back his stolen item and you're at the loss. But you might be at a double loss. What if, because you have the stolen item, that you are now being accused of being the thief? That's the other danger. So if you're buying something and there's any bit of suspicion or that, can you get some details of the buyer? Do you have the address where you picked it up? Do you have the ad from Facebook Marketplace or the site you got it from? If you've met the seller somewhere, do you have his reg? Any details that could help identify the seller? You have to think of how can you always prove it wasn't you, and if you're going to be at the loss because the police identified you have the stolen item, is there a way you can help the police track down the criminal who stole this, because that will actually help maybe for you to get some of your money back. So always think, how do I protect myself just in case the item was stolen? How do I help the police trace down the criminal if the item was stolen, so at least you can get something back? They're trying to steal your data. A lot of people think my data is worthless. Why would somebody really want to know my name and address? Why would he want these details? Like, data theft is very common. And people think a lot of their data is not important. It actually is important. People are selling data, making a lot of money of selling large numbers of data. And they collect data and sell it. And that's how they make their living. So it proves there is money in data and data is worth money. When someone's contacting you to buy something, they might try to claim, look, I need to prove you're a genuine person, I need to know I can trust you. They could have different reasons why they want to collect it, or maybe because they're going to send a courier to collect the item that they're asking. Always think what they're asking you for. So if they're asking so they can know that you're a genuine person they're dealing with, they might ask for your name, they might ask for your address. And this again could be because of a courier. But should they be asking for your date of birth, your mother's maiden name, your PPS, your social security number? Question what things they're asking you for. Because maybe this person who is the seller or the buyer, they might be a fake seller or buyer, and they're just there to collect your data. So the questions they're asking you is so they can collect data. So always think, why are they asking me this? Do they need this? If you're going to meet that person in a shopping centre, maybe you can say, look, my name is Tom. I'm going to be by such a stand. I'll be wearing a green cap and a red jacket. You're giving them what information they need, not what information they want. Because you have to decide, why do they want it? And why do they want it? Create fake identities. How many people coming into your country are using fake passports, fake identities, fake driver's license? And they could have all the details, the addresses, the full details of real people. So imagine the police knock on your door and you're being taken to court. Yes, you didn't turn up at the previous courtings, you're now being arrested, you were drunk and driving. Was your name, your address, and maybe it even had same reg plates as your car, but it happened to be a different make, and it's a different picture on the license. They will go to all extremes to collect as much detail to make things look as possible, and look as close to you as possible, because they want these people who are probably illegally running around with all these fake IDs to look as genuine as possible. Maybe they want to make a fake social welfare claim. So they've got all your details, they're claiming to be you, that you've been unemployed and you've just moved address, and they're claiming social welfare. Or they're trying to sign up to get other government services pretending to be you so they can get money from the government, and it will appear as if you got it. There's many reasons for data theft. So always protect your data. Only give somebody, if they're asking for it, what information they need. Attempting to steal your item. So this is another problem that people are faced with. So you're selling the item and the seller might not be genuine. So for example, you're selling a car or bicycle and they ask, I want to meet you maybe in such a place, local parking lot, certain mall, shopping centre, etc. So you go to meet them there, and they say, look, I just want to check out the car or bicycle. You give them the keys, they're gone. They already had planned an escape route. Maybe it's not easy for you to chase them. What can you do? So these are things you need to protect themselves. Firstly, when you arrive, if you meet them, have they come by car? Can you see what way you have to track them? What's the registration plate of their car? Have you met them in a place with a camera? So at least they're recorded. If they have stolen your car, the police might be able to identify the person from security cameras out in the area. So always think the area, what's around to help you if it happened. When you're selling something, look, you want to trust the seller. You need to be able to trust the buyer. There has to be trust on both sides. And you're hoping that everything is genuine. So try and look at ways of protecting yourself whether you are the seller or the buyer. But when they're trying to steal your item, the more information you can get on the buyer who could be out there to steal something, the better. They might say, look, I meet you at a local shopping centre, and it might be, for example, a shop there that sells coffee. So you sit down, have a cup of coffee, they look at the item, and they say, just give me 1 second, I didn't carry the cash on me because I'm afraid to carry cash. So I normally don't carry it around me. The ATM is just over there, and you can see the ATM is just down the corridor. I'm just going to go there, get the money, and give it to you. So just, we finish your coffee, I'm back in 2 seconds. They walk down towards the ATM, still had the item in their hand. After checking it out, they've disappeared. Never let the item go, and never let someone walk off with the item unless they've paid you. Another scam that you meet is they arrive to meet you after somewhere. My ATM card doesn't work. I'm caught that, look, I need to put fuel in my car to get home, so I can only give you half the payment now, and then if you give me your details, I'll post you on a check, I'll do a bank transfer, etc. And these are all the tricks to try and get you to hand over the item without them paying the full price. But always think, can you trust this person? Is there another way they can send you the money? If they don't have the full money or have other excuses, the best thing you can say is, we'll meet another day or time. If they're not happy with that, well, they're the one who can't meet the amount of payment. So you have to trust them. But you don't know them. Make sure you can get the payment before the item is handed over. And if not, if they're going to try and steal it, that you have some way of identifying them or helping the police to identify them. The scams we spoke about, they're not limited to Facebook Marketplace. These scams exist in other marketplaces. But always try to think is, whether you're the buyer or the seller, is everything here genuine? What's wrong? Always look at everything and think, what looks out of place here? And try to find what is the best ground for you to trust who you're dealing with, and that place you won't get caught out as easily. Remember, there's a lot of scammers, and sometimes it could be more scammers than buyers or more scammers than sellers. You don't know. Think before you act, and that way you can be safe, not sorry. Thank you very much, and hopefully this presentation will help protect you when online.